Lamborghini. The name alone makes you think of speed, noise, and drama. Their cars look like they were born for a Formula One grid, so why have they never seriously competed in F1? And why, after more than 60 years, does the world's wildest car brand still avoid the world's fastest sport? Lamborghini's story doesn't start on a racetrack. It starts in a garage with a broken clutch. In the early 1960s, Ferruccio Lamborghini wasn't a supercar icon. He was a tractor guy. A very rich one, but still a tractor guy. And like many wealthy Italian men, he bought a Ferrari and he hated it. The car was brilliant, the engine was pure magic, but the clutch, it kept failing. So Ferruccio drove to Maranello to complain. Not as a rival, just as a customer who knew machinery and wanted something fixed. Enzo Ferrari didn't exactly welcome the feedback. He looked Ferruccio in the eye and said, "You stick to building tractors. I'll build the cars." And that was the moment everything changed. Ferruccio went home angry, furious even. He decided he wasn't going to prove Enzo wrong on a racetrack. No, he was going to beat him where it hurt most, the road. And that's how Lamborghini was born. Not out of a passion for racing, but out of pride. A rivalry created before a single Lamborghini even existed. 4 months later, the first Lambo, the 350 GT, rolled out of a tiny workshop, built by 5 ex-Ferrari engineers who also had their own issues with Enzo. From day one, Ferrari and Lamborghini were enemies. But here's the twist. It was never a racing rivalry. Ferrari lived for motorsport. Lamborghini wanted nothing to do with it. While Ferrari built F1 engines and chased championships, Ferruccio believed something completely different. If your road car is good enough, you don't have to race to prove it. To him, racing was a distraction, a money pit, something only brands desperate for validation needed to do. That philosophy is the foundation of why Lamborghini never became an F1 giant. But eventually, curiosity caught up. Lamborghini's first real step into motorsport wasn't Formula One. It was something far less glamorous, and it went badly. In the 1970s, BMW asked Lamborghini to help build a new Group 4 race car. This was a big deal, a huge opportunity. It could have been Lamborghini's way into proper racing. Instead, it was a disaster. Lamborghini built the prototypes, but the company was collapsing financially. They couldn't deliver the cars fast enough. BMW took the project away and finished it elsewhere. Those cars went on to become the BMW M1, one of the most iconic racing silhouettes ever made. And Lamborghini's name was nowhere near it. That was their first real brush with racing. A chance to prove themselves missed. Their next attempt didn't happen until the late 80s. And this time they went straight to Formula One. In 1989, Lamborghini became an engine supplier. Not to Ferrari, not to McLaren, but to small midfield and backmarker teams. Laris, Minardi, Lotus, Ligier, Modena. It was a weird chapter, almost forgotten now. The engines weren't terrible. Aguri Suzuki even scored a shock podium in Japan in 1990. But when your highlight reel is a single third place, something isn't working. The low point was the Modena Lambo 291, a gorgeous blue car with zero performance. It failed to qualify 26 times in one season. 26. Imagine showing up to work 32 days in a row and getting turned away at the door. That was Modena. By 1993, Lamborghini had had enough. But before they disappeared from F1 completely, there was one last twist that almost changed history. In 1993, McLaren were desperate. Their Ford Cosworth engines were down on power, and Ayrton Senna was already considering leaving. So Ron Dennis, the McLaren team boss, started secretly testing alternatives for 1994, and that's when something unbelievable happened. On a quiet test day in Estoril, Senna climbed into a completely white McLaren. No logos, no sponsors, just a prototype chassis fitted with a Lamborghini V12, the McLaren MP48B. A car so strange people now call it the McLambo. And here's the crazy part. Senna loved it. The Lambo V12 was a monster. According to Senna himself, it was finally something I could fight with. Even McLaren's new driver, Mika Häkkinen, tested it at Silverstone, and went 1.2 seconds faster than McLaren's actual qualifying time that year. Senna asked to use the Lambo-powered car for the final 3 races of the season. That's how good it was. But behind the scenes, McLaren had already signed a contract with Peugeot. The test was never supposed to go this well. The deal never happened. McLaren were locked into Peugeot for 1994. Senna left for Williams, and Lamborghini never supplied another Formula One engine again. That unreal what-if moment became the final chapter of Lamborghini's F1 history. Lamborghini's brief Formula One experiment revealed something important. It wasn't the poor results that mattered. It was the reaction afterwards. Most manufacturers who enter F1 and struggle try again. They restructure, they rebuild, they return with a new plan. Ferrari did it. Mercedes did it. Even Honda did it. Lamborghini? They walked away and never looked back. Just silence. And that silence told Volkswagen everything they needed to know. Years later, when the VW Group began evaluating which brands should enter Formula One, Lamborghini wasn't even part of the conversation. Because inside VW, the conclusion was clear. Lamborghini builds icons, dream cars, poster cars. But Formula One demands something different. It demands a racing culture, long-term investment, a willingness to take years of pain before seeing success, and the appetite to spend hundreds of millions every single season. Lamborghini never truly had that. If Lamborghini's Formula One story ended quietly, their hypercar story ended even faster. The SC63 was the most ambitious motorsport project Lamborghini had ever attempted. A proper factory effort, a hybrid powerhouse, and for the first time ever, a chance to fight Ferrari on equal terms at Le Mans. On paper, everything looked perfect. The rules were designed to attract new manufacturers, and Lamborghini jumped in early, but reality hit almost instantly. The car debuted in 2024, and by late 2025, the entire program was gone. No dramatic goodbye, just a quiet statement. Lamborghini was withdrawing from top-tier endurance racing. Officially, Lamborghini blamed a strategic realignment, but the real reasons were painfully straightforward. 1. Money. The costs spiraled far beyond what they expected. 2. Their main partner, Iron Lynx, who funded a huge portion of the program, pulled out. Volkswagen didn't want to bankroll a losing program, and Lamborghini wasn't willing to carry the project alone. Just like that, the SC63 was on life support. Lamborghini announced their future plans would focus on a return to GT3 racing and more customer events. Safe, profitable, low-stakes racing. It's the same pattern. They take a big swing and pull back the moment it gets difficult, expensive, or political. The SC63 proved that if a hypercar program, cheaper and far less brutal than Formula One, was too demanding, then F1 was never going to be a realistic option. For all the mythology, the financial side of Lamborghini has always been fragile, and that alone explains almost everything. The truth is, they've never been a stable company for long enough to build a Formula One team, not in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or even 90s. Ferruccio built the company in 1963 and was forced to sell it by 1974. Under new owners, Lamborghini went bankrupt in 1978. They were rescued again, sold to Chrysler in 1987, who sold them to an investment group in 1994, who then sold them again to Volkswagen in 1998. Only then did Lamborghini finally get long-term stability. It's a miracle the company survived at all. But every ownership change meant the same thing. No consistent vision. One CEO wanted expansion. The next wanted survival. Lamborghini never had the stability or the appetite to build a racing empire like Ferrari. They kept dipping their toes into motorsport, and each time the pattern was the same. Start with ambition, end with a quiet exit. Lamborghini never shut the door on racing, but they never fully opened it either. Even their current CEO, Stefan Winkelmann, has said that Lamborghini will never enter Formula One, not because they lack the technology, but because Ferruccio never wanted the company to be a racing team in the first place. Lamborghini was built as a status symbol, not a competition brand. And that philosophy still shapes the company today. Maybe one day, if the stars align the funding, the stability, the philosophy, the iconic Italian bull might finally charge into Formula One. But for right now, that moment feels a long, long way off. Lamborghini won't be making the jump, but Audi will. Watch our next video to see if they can succeed where others have failed. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.